Town of Prescott Valley regular town council meeting, October 14th, call to order. At this time, I would like to invite Pastor Tony De La Riva from the Foundation Bible Church down for our invocation. I don't believe I'm looking and I'm not seeing him. All right. Clerk, please call the roll. Oh, sorry. Will you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now, Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Kinzinger.
Present.
Councilmember Dickinson.
Here.
Councilmember Hepperly.
Here.
Councilmember Schumacher.
Present.
Councilmember Packard.
Present.
Vice Mayor Hunt.
Here.
Mayor Palguda.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Thank you, ma'am. Moving on to item 5A, proclamations, National Arts and Humanity Month.
Whereas the month of October has been recognized as National Arts and Humanities Month by thousands of arts and cultural organizations, communities, and states across the country, as well as by the White House and Congress for more than 2 decades. And whereas the arts and humanities embody much of the accumulated wisdom, intellect, and imagination of humankind, and the arts and humanities enhance and enrich the lives of every American. And whereas the arts and humanities play a unique role in the lives of our families, our communities, and our country. And whereas the nonprofit arts industry also strengthens our economy by generating approximately $166.3 billion in total economic activity annually, and by supporting the full-time equivalent of 5 million jobs. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Kel Palguda, Mayor of Prescott Valley, do hereby proclaim October as National Arts and Humanities Month in the town of Prescott Valley, and call upon our citizens to celebrate and promote the arts and culture in our nation, and to specifically encourage the greater participation by those said citizens in taking action for the arts and humanities in their towns and cities.
Good evening, and thank you very much for acknowledging arts and humanities in our community. We're excited to celebrate arts and humanities this month with the Fine Art Showcase. I can bring your attention to the back of the room. I have the Best in Show, as well as first place winners for painting, sculpture, 2D mixed media, and drawing is the fourth. So thank you again. And the community is invited to view the show. It's here at the Prescott Valley Public Library, and it will be on display through November 7th. So you're welcome to tour that show anytime during library hours.
Once again, Arts and Humanities Month, and I'm so excited to be here and celebrate it. Participate in the arts. To all of our citizens, I'm suggesting go see a movie, go see a play, read a book. All of this is the arts, and we want you to participate in it, and especially our classes that we will be offering, especially to the kids. Participate in the arts. It enriches your soul.
Next up is a proclamation for Red Ribbon Week.
Whereas alcohol and drug abuse affect individuals, families, and communities across the nation, and whereas it is imperative that visible, undefined efforts by community members be launched to prevent drug abuse, and whereas the Red Ribbon Week offers citizens the opportunity to demonstrate their commitment to drug-free lifestyles, and whereas Red Ribbon Week will be celebrated in communities across the nation on October 23rd to the 31st. And whereas businesses, government, law enforcement, media, healthcare providers, religious institutions, schools, and other community-based organizations will demonstrate their commitment to healthy, drug-free lifestyles by wearing red ribbons and participating in in drug prevention activities. And whereas the community of Prescott Valley further commits its resources to ensure the success of Red Ribbon Week, now therefore be it resolved that I, Kelp Laguna, Mayor of the Town of Prescott Valley, do hereby proclaim October 23rd to the 31st as Red Ribbon Week in the Quad City community and encourage citizens to participate in drug prevention education activities, not only during Red Ribbon Week, but also throughout the year, making a visible statement that we are strongly committed to a drug-free lifestyle.
On behalf of the Prescott Valley Illegal Fentanyl Work Group, we are grateful to the town of Prescott Valley for this Red Ribbon proclamation to be a drug-free community. The U.S. Drug Enforcement Agency commemorates the sacrifice of DEA Special Agent Kiki Camarena, who was kidnapped, tortured, and brutally killed by drug cartels in 1985. Kiki's death mobilized communities to raise awareness about drug use and prevention. Red Ribbon Week is celebrated all over the country the last week of October and highlights the importance of living a drug-free life. It presents an opportunity for parents, educators, and communities to reinforce the drug-free message and to take a pledge to be drug-free. During Red Ribbon Week, we urge everyone to honor Special Agent Camarena and the hard work of the DEA and all law enforcement agencies to keep drugs out of our communities. It is our responsibility as community members to arm ourselves with information and share it with our family, our neighbors, and our coworkers, and most importantly, our children. We'd like to thank the town for the support of this very important proclamation. Together we can educate our children on harms of drugs and keep them healthy and drug-free. MATFORCE, a primary prevention coalition focused on stopping youth drug use before it starts, has partnered again this year with local law enforcement agencies to host medication take-back events throughout Yavapai County. Since 2008, almost 37,000 pounds of medication have been collected and properly disposed of through dump the drugs events and drop box locations throughout Yavapai County. That's about the same weight as 24 cows. Take-back events are a convenient way for community members to dispose of expired or unwanted medications.
The events will be held on Saturday, October 23rd from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at 8 locations. In the Prescott area, you have the Chino Valley Police Department on Voss Drive, the Prescott Police Department on Marina, Yavapai College campus on Sheldon Street. You have the Fry's Pharmacy in coalition with the Prescott Valley Police Department here on Glassford Hill Road. Yavapai County Sheriff's Office is going to be at the 4155 West Outer Loop Road, Suite B. In the Verde Valley areas, you have Cottonwood Police Department on 6th Street and Clarkdale Police Department on 9th Street.
While I'm down here, I'm just going to jump to number 7, Staff Service Award for Bob Pipkin, Community Development Inspector, 5 years. Come on down, Bob.
Bob Pipkin began working with the town on October 3rd, 2016. He came from the private sector as a commercial plumber and is certified as a residential plumber. Lucky for us, he received the certification 1 year before being hired on with the town. Bob was first hired as a building inspector, and then, in March of 2020, was given additional duties of a plants examiner. He's instrumental at getting solar plants out in a timely manner and does a really great job at keeping up with the demanding pace. He's always willing to help out wherever needed and is always willing to lend a hand. I would like to take this time to appreciate Bob for all his hard work and dedication to the town of Prescott Valley. Thank you, Bob.
Yeah, I'd like to thank the town of Prescott Valley for the opportunity to work here. Really like it and hope to look here for another 5 years. Thank you.
And now I'll welcome up Chamber of Commerce, new business presentation. Come on down.
I'm going to turn it around. Good evening. Hello, everyone. On behalf of the Chamber of Commerce, I would first like to thank you all for having us here tonight. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Vice Mayor. Thank you, council members, for having us here tonight. I have practiced this speech. I want you to know that. And tonight, I'm very excited to do my first introduction of one of our first businesses, Go Insurance. So we have Sabrina here tonight with Go Insurance.
Welcome.
Hi, I just want to say it's a pleasure to meet all of you. My name is Sabrina Padilla, and I am the owner of Go Insurance. Go Insurance is an independent agency that works with over 35 other insurance companies to compare rates for people and save them money and just get them the best deals and best coverages. We specialize in auto, commercial, home, motorcycle, and recreational needs. We can pretty much insure everyone, whether they have tickets, accidents, claims, no prior insurance, we can still cover them. We're located on Highway 69 on the frontage road. It's over by CVS, kind of. So we are open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We also speak Spanish, so we offer that option to other members in the community that might be more comfortable with that. And I've grown up here pretty much my entire life, and I just want to make it my main goal to give back to the community and just help save people money. And yeah, that's a little bit about me and my company, Go Insurance. Thank you guys so much for your time.
And your phone number.
My phone number is going to be, for the office, is 928-277-4622.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
So that's our only business that we have here tonight. Sabrina is obviously amazing. So thank you all once again for having the Chamber of Commerce here and allowing us to introduce our businesses.
Nice, thank you. Great first time. All right, moving on. Item 8, council comments. Councilman?
I have two comments I want to make tonight. The first one, I was out to CASA last week, which is Central Arizona Seniors Association, where they provide Meals on Wheels. And they have now got the doors installed. They had a pavilion put in this summer, and then they've had people inquiring about being able to rent the facility. And the only bathrooms they had were right inside off of the pavilion. So we got a wall put in, doors put in, so now they can rent the pavilion to prospects that are interested in it. And there will be indoor facilities, so I wanted to at least let you know about that. And the second thing just caught me off guard as I was coming to the meeting tonight. Mayor, I would like to let you know the road, the turn right turn lane there at Pronghorn and Antelope had a Pronghorn Antelope. It's completed, and I made the right-hand turn, just not thinking. I was just thinking about the meeting tonight. I just got over to the right lane, turned, and just as I was making the turn, wow, it's open, so it is open today. So they were just finishing up today. So take advantage of that. It makes it a lot easier to turn right and let the people behind you keep going forward. So those are the two I have for tonight.
Thank you, sir.
I just wanted to say thank you to the local business community. They had a job fair recently, and they had a really good turnout. It seemed to go very well. One thing I was surprised about was how many out-of-town businesses were also there from Flagstaff, Sedona, Cottonwood. I thought it was going to be a little more local to the Quad Cities, but it was really nice that they were coming here to even recruit workforce for their area. So that's a good turnout for the local businesses that were able to come out and participate in that. And I just wanted to give a shout out and say thank you.
Councilman, Vice Mayor.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for being here. I want to give kudos to Denise Ryan and our clerk's office for being on task regarding records retention and compliance with state guidelines. She does a great job. Will you pass that on, Fatima?
Of course. Thank you.
And then also just a reminder, Dump the Drugs here in Prescott Valley is October 23rd, a week from Saturday, from 10 to 2 at our Fry's, and it's in conjunction with our police department. Let's be the biggest the most collected stop around. And then our next illegal fentanyl working group meeting, and it's open to the public, is November 10th at 4 p.m. here in this room.
Thank you, ma'am. Councilwoman? Councilwoman?
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here. Just a reminder, the FCC will be expecting us to start a 10-digit dialing for all of our phone calls, which go into effect on October 24th. When an area code transitions to 10-digit dialing, you will no longer be able to dial 7 digits to make a local call. Your phone number, including your area code, will not change. And again, that goes into effect October 24th, just a reminder. Also, on October 2nd, a few of us attended a Firewise presentation at Stone Ridge with their Wildfire Community Preparedness Committee, and a proclamation was presented to them by our Vice Mayor, Lori Hunt, and they are the first one in the state, I believe, or here in Prescott Valley, actually, to have a Firewise program. And they are working at getting, I think they said 5 more communities to be Firewise here in the Prescott Valley area. And another item, it seems like forever since we've been here, but the Prescott Valley Police are supporting the cancer awareness for with Pink for breast cancer, and this will be for the month of October. And I'm not wearing pink tonight, I'm wearing purple, but it comes close. And not only does the Prescott Valley Police Department fight crime, they also support the fight against cancer. The month of October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and the Prescott Valley Police Department will be wearing pink shoulder patches showing their support. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Item 9, consent agenda. All matters listed under consent agenda are considered routine by the Town Council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately. Council, we've all had a chance to review. If there's nothing to be removed, can I please have a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent calendar as recommended by electronic vote.
I second.
Clerk, please call the vote.
That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Moving on, item 10A, second reading of ordinance number 892, repealing Town Code Chapter 18, Arts and Culture, for consideration and possible action.
Ordinance number 892. An ordinance of the Mayor and Common Council of the Town of Prescott Valley, a municipal corporation of Arizona, adopting by reference a document entitled Amendments to Chapter 17, Parks and Recreation Commission, and repeal of Chapter 18, Arts and Culture, declared by Resolution number 2203 to be a public record, which repeals Chapter 18, Arts and Culture of the Town Code, renames Chapter 17, Parks, Arts and Recreation Commission, formerly Parks and Recreation Commission, and amends Chapter 17 to adopt responsibilities formerly assigned to the Arts and Culture Commission, providing that all other chapters, articles, and sections of the Town Code not herein repealed, reenacted, or amended shall remain in full force and effect, providing that if any provision in this ordinance is held invalid by a court of competent jurisdiction, The remaining provisions shall not be affected, but shall continue in full force and effect, and providing that this ordinance shall be effective 30 days after its passage and approval according to law.
Clerk, shall this ordinance pass?
That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. New business, item 11A, appointment of Michael Carson to the Board of Adjustments for consideration and possible action. Vice Mayor, you're taking this one?
Yes. Mr. Carson, will you step up to the microphone, please? So we had the council members, Kinsinger and Packard, and I had the pleasure of meeting Mr. Carson when he applied for a position on the Board of Appeals. And it turns out that the qualifications weren't, not that he didn't have the qualifications, but per our ordinance, we needed other people with other information. And so I called him back and said, hey, would you be interested in Board of Adjustments? And he said, I sure would be. And so the three of us are recommending that the council appoint Michael Carson to the Board of Adjustments for a term with a renewal date of January 31st, 2024. And so I'd like to make that motion.
I'll second.
Clerk, please call the vote.
That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you. Sir, you have a few words to say?
Just a few brief words. We moved to Prescott Valley about a year ago and are having a ball here. I'm looking forward to working with the board for the next 3 years and being a resident for many, many more.
Awesome, sir. Thanks for wanting to be involved.
And he has a lot of qualifications, too. He's being humble.
Moving on, item 11B, appointment of Brianna King to Planning and Zoning Commission, consideration and possible action approval. And let the record show that Brianna King will not be present this evening.
Right. So Ms. King isn't here. She's actually at training with her business. She did write me a note that says, I am honored to have the opportunity to join the Planning and Zoning Commission. I accept the appointment and am excited to get to work to include reviewing the town general plan. I look forward to working with the new team. She is able to make all of the meetings and has filled out all of the appropriate paperwork. So council members Don Packard and Roger Kinsinger, in addition to myself, recommend that we appoint Brianna King to the P&Z for a term with a renewal date of October 31st, 2023. And that's my motion.
Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Clerk, please call the vote.
That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Moving on, item 11C, Legato Apartments, FDP 21-007 for consideration and possible action. Sir, welcome. I like the jacket. Looking good.
Mr. Mayor. Good afternoon, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the Town Council. The item before you is a request for final approval of Final Development Plan 21-007, the Legato Apartments. The applicant owner is the Fane Signature Group. And for context, the project site is just north of State Route 69, east of Glassford Hill. Zoom in a little closer, at the southwest corner of Florentine Road and Main Street. The project currently, in terms of zoning, is surrounded by commercial uses, including next door, Homestead 1, and just across to the northwest portion is the Toyota Finley Center. By way of some background, in 2000, the vacant lot known as Section 14 was envisioned as a new town center. A draft Prescott Valley Town Center was developed by the Fane Signature Group and eventually was formalized by the town's general plan in 2020 and 2025. This past summer, on June 14th, the Planning and Zoning Commission approved Preliminary Development Plan PDP 21-004, which was named Homestead 2. The applicant now has branded and renamed the project as the Legado Apartments. I'll move to summarize the final development plan. The Legado is a new construction of a 6-story mixed-use building with 329 residential units, a 7,624 square foot of retail space, including a rooftop restaurant of approximately 5,400 square feet, and a parking garage, which will include 664 parking spaces, of which 15 will be accessible. As mentioned before, the final development plan consists of basically 3 components. I'll review each of the components. The first component is the multifamily 5-story, 329-unit residential building. It will include a unit mix of 1, 2, and 3-bedroom units ranging from 740 square feet up to 1,300 square feet. A sample of the residential amenities at Legado will include a 2-story fitness center, media room, an outdoor pool with cabanas and games, and an outdoor fire table lounge. Most of the units are oriented to face an outdoor courtyard, and each of these courtyards will have their own separate barbecue and sitting areas. Legado will also include a dog park and a dog washing station for future residents and their furry companions. The second component is the retail component, which again will include a rooftop restaurant. The retail component is comprised of a roughly 2,300 square foot ground floor commercial along Main Street and a 5,259 square foot ground floor retail along Florentine Road. The ground floor retail component is positioned in a way to attract patrons after or before special events hosted by the Findlay Toyota Center. Oops. I'll just touch on the rooftop restaurant. The rooftop restaurant will be approximately 5,456 square feet along Florentine Road. It will have an elevator access from the ground floor and includes kitchen, indoor and outdoor patio seating, again on the sixth floor. And lastly, the final component is a parking garage. It will contain 664 parking spaces, of which the first floor and a half will be roughly 120 public spaces, and the remaining floors will include gated parking for future residents of Legado. The final development plan and landscape plan both meet town standards, and finally, the recommendation, therefore, is town staff recommends that the town council authorize signature of resolution 2201 approving final development plan 21-007, subject to stipulation number 1 as written in the staff report. That concludes town staff report. I'm happy to answer questions. I've been told by their office that the applicant is here, but I'll defer to them.
They can come down if they'd like. So Mark, just so people know that the reason why that it's 6 stories not our normal height, but in this envelope or this area downtown, it does not need a variance. Is that correct?
That's correct. That's correct, Mayor. The project site is located within a planned area development that allows in excess of, obviously, up in, I guess, that Toyota Findlay Center would be a good example. That building itself is over 169 square feet. The proposed 6-story, which is only the restaurant, stands at about 75 feet. So the PAD allows for that. I
believe the applicant just walked in.
Okay.
Can you come on down, sir? I don't know if we'll have any questions for you or not, but doesn't hurt.
Is there anything? I'm sorry.
I think this project is something when you hear of a downtown, you obviously have a more dense population in any downtown throughout any town or city in Arizona. And I think adding this element to our downtown is a good use of the area, in my opinion. So I'll let the rest of the council comment and I'll finish up. Vice Mayor.
So welcome, Mr. Fain. Thank you for being here. This is in our entertainment district. This is a perfect land use for our entertainment district. It's compatible with all the surrounding land uses with the mixed use ability, walkability. In reading our draft general plan here recently, this is 100% compatible with the general plan, this use. I'm grateful that this is coming in. I'm excited about the rooftop restaurant, and I just thank the Fain Group for this proposal.
And just confirming the parking, can you share the parking on Florentine? What will that be like?
There is parking along Florentine Road, about 24 spaces where you can access driving eastbound.
You'll be able to pull into it.
You'll be
It won't
able
be
to pull in.
parallel.
Correct.
Similar to what's around the square in Prescott. Is that safe to say?
Exactly.
Thank you. Council?
When might we start? When is it? What's your timing, Mr. Fain?
Mayor, Council, thank you for the opportunity to be here and present this project. We hope to be breaking ground first quarter of next year, possibly second quarter, and it is a function of the HUD financing.
This is HUD financing, is that what you said?
We are going that route first. It's at market. It'll be at market rents through their at market program, yes.
Gotcha. Thank you, sir. Councilwoman?
Mr. Fain, welcome. I have a question with reference to the allotment of parking across from the event center. I understand that there will be public parking in the complex for overflow parking for the event center. Is that correct?
That's correct. As designed, there's a parking structure in the center, and I believe it's the first 2 floors would be open to public parking.
And this is during the time period when we have events occurring in the event center. Is this any time or just during that period of time?
At all times, yeah.
Pardon?
It'll be at all times public parking, and then residential parking will be beyond that on the higher floors.
Okay, so as I understand what you're saying, it is available all the time for public parking. And so I understand that we pay $1 per parking spot with the event center. Would this be the same with that complex as well?
You know, it's a wonderful question. I don't know that I can answer that question directly.
Okay.
Councilmember, perhaps I could just, you're going to consider an amendment to the parking agreement at the second meeting. At this point in time, we don't have that in the parking agreement.
I see.
We're anticipating that we'll have some ongoing discussions about that and bring you another amendment to that agreement sometime in the future.
I see. Okay. Thank you very much.
Councilman.
Mr. Fain, one quick question then. Once you start construction, what kind of a time frame, 18 months, 24 months before it's completed, or what's it?
A great question. Estimated time frame right now is about 30 months once started.
Okay. Thank you. We thank you for bringing it in.
Any other questions, comments? I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion. Resolution number 2201, approving the final development plan, FDP 21-007, for the Legato Apartments to be signed and to sign an agreement under Proposition 207 by electronic vote.
I second it.
Clerk, please call the vote.
That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mr. Mayor, if I could just indicate that the next item probably should be moved down to be with all of those other, it's my mistake, it's not the clerk's. I probably moved the mouse wrong as I was looking at things, and so probably you'll want to move 11E up and take care of that and then do all of the police grants together.
Thank you, Mr. Legler, for adding that. We're just going to just run with 11D, 11F, 11G, 11H right now, and 11I. Chief, you're up.
Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council. I will keep it brief on these. These are 5 different grants that the police department was awarded. The first one is from the Arizona Department of Homeland Security in the amount of $12,905 for 8 EOC, Emergency Operations Center laptops, and a dedicated TLO, which is our Terrorism Liaison Officer computer. That's the first one that was awarded to us on September 20th, 2021. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move through all 5 of these at the same time, if that works. The next one is for, the next 4 are from the Governor's Office of Highway Safety. On August 5th, we were awarded $9,449 for basically car seat safety, where we're going to be doing outreach and enforcement and things like that. The next one is Governor's Office of Highway Safety as well, in the amount of $33,613. This is for DUI, drug enforcement, driving under the influence enforcement, overtime, materials, and supplies. The next one is $17,274. This is for bicycle safety, pedestrian safety, bicycle helmets, reflective vests, low light, materials for bicycles. We do bike rodeos and things like that for the community to help the children be safer. The final one is GOHS as well, $43,200. This is for basically speed enforcement, aggressive driving, red light turning, other forms of risky behavior, which has been a huge issue. And with the ever-growing population in streets, this is very important. Those are the 5 that we have.
Council, you have any questions or comments at this time? So,
again, I apologize. We'll have to have a separate vote for each one, so let's just start with each one. And
that's exactly what I was going to do, Mr. Legler. Thank you. I'll just make sure we'll have one person just make the motion and then one person make the second as we go through. Item 11D, can I get a motion?
I make a motion to accept the grant award form to sign contract number 210510-01 with the Arizona Department of Homeland Security in the amount of $12,905 to enhance preparedness and response capabilities by electronic vote.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Clerk, call the vote.
That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you. Can I get a motion for item 11F?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to authorize the mayor, or in his absence, the vice mayor, to sign resolution number 2204, accepting the grant award from and authorizing signature of the contract 2022-AL-028 with GOHS in the amount of $33,613 for DUI prevention activities by electronic vote.
Second.
Clerk, please call the vote.
That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Can I get a motion for item 11G, please?
Mayor, I make a motion to authorize the mayor, or in his absence, the vice mayor, to sign resolution number 2205, accepting the grant award and authorizing signature of GOHS contract 2022 PTS 053 in the amount of $43,200 for selective traffic enforcement by electronic vote.
I second.
Clerk, please call the vote.
That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you. Can I get a motion for item 11H, please?
I'll make a motion to authorize the mayor to sign resolution number 2206, accepting the GOHS grant and entering into contract 2022-PS-009 in the amount of $17,274 for accident prevention activities by electronic vote.
I second it.
Clerk, please call the vote.
That passes unanimously, Mayor.
And finally, can I get a motion for item 11I, please?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to authorize the mayor, or in his absence, the vice mayor, to sign resolution number 2207, accepting the GOHS grant and entering into contract 2022-0P-Q11 in the amount of $9,449 for child safety program by electronic vote.
I second.
Point of correction. She mentioned the number 20220P. I think she said 211 rather than 011.
Sorry about that.
Clerk, please call the vote.
That passes unanimously.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Item 11E, use of coronavirus state and local fiscal recovery funds. Welcome, ma'am.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council. So back in August, I came before you to discuss the American Rescue Plan Act, as well as the distribution that the town has received part of and will receive the full amount during this fiscal year. The town received close to a little over $7.6 million, and we've received $3.8 million to date. And these funds must be obligated by December 2024, as well as spent by December 2026. So tonight, we have some suggestions from staff as to what we should use some of those funds for. We're not recommending basically obligating all of the funds at this point. We can obligate the rest of them during the next year or so as council decides what priorities they would prefer. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the Small Business Assistance Grants. We've actually changed the name of this. We believe it would be better as the Exterior Enhancement Grant Program. And what this would be is around $500,000 that we would allow small businesses, specifically in the entertainment district, as well as businesses outside of that area, as long as they could show us that they had a negative impact from the pandemic. And this would allow businesses to have up to $25,000 to enhance their exterior facades of the buildings, as well as expand patio areas or improve them. There's signage that they could do, things to help generate more business for them to help compensate for some of those shortfalls that they had during the last year. And what I'm going to do is I'll go through all these and then we can discuss, or if you have questions as I go. The next one is mitigation of substance abuse. We're recommending $200,000 be allocated. Maybe we can work with an idea that our town manager had was to possibly work with the fentanyl working group on how these funds could be best used to serve our community, to enhance education and outreach, as well as working cooperatively with schools to provide additional education and evidence-based prevention programs, because we have seen a tremendous increase since the pandemic started. I think Interim Chief Martin, who did provide these numbers that show a tremendous increase of arrests and reports, as well as pills seized and overdoses reported in our town since the beginning of the pandemic. Additionally, we have skate park security on here. The skate park is located just south of a qualified census tract, which allows it to have outside park improvements and things like that, as long as the people in that area are the ones that can utilize that. And because of the close proximity to Mountain Valley Park, we believe that this would be beneficial to the residents there. We've seen an increase in frequent damage, as well as drugs, violence, other things that have caused the park to shut down, vandalism, and we believe that's a good outdoor activity for our youth and other residents. So with the security cameras, it would allow police to better monitor that area, as well as make sure that it's safe for our youth and residents. $250,000 is in here for broadband infrastructure and cybersecurity. The majority of this would be used foremost for a broadband analysis study. We're not sure of the cost of that, but we want to look at potentially partnering with other agencies, whether they be governmental or private entities, to help expand the broadband network, which would provide faster internet to residents in our area. This is something where we're just starting to explore, so it would require a lot of studies. It also includes cybersecurity and digital literacy is allowed under this, so we're thinking a portion could go towards that to help residents with those kind of ongoing issues. As we know with things like the pandemic, there's been more and more frauds, schemes, things like that with cybersecurity issues, so it may be a resource that we can utilize to help educate our residents. Additionally, we have the Smart Water Meter program for $1.2 million. About a third of the town's meters, around 7,000 meters, need to be equipped with radio transmitters, and that'll allow radio communication for leak detection software. It'll be able to talk to that software, so residents can go in and actually look at their water usage on an hour-by-hour basis, so they can see where they have an issue, or if they do have an issue at their residence. It'll also allow town staff to monitor and turn things off in a timelier manner. Instead of having to send someone out to the field, we can actually shut that meter off from in the office. Anyway, those transmitters will allow that ability, and it'll function well with the portal that we are in process of getting set up. And that does include not only the transmitters, but it also includes the installation cost of those meters. And then finally, we have Florentine improvements. We're recommending just under 2.4 million, going to the Florentine Road improvement. The entire project is closer to 4.4 million, but some of that is not eligible for these funds. The part that is the storm drain, as well as the water and sewer infrastructure portions. And that would, on that road, it would help expand it, as well as put those necessary water and sewer lines in, and replace the pavement, as well as add some sidewalk, curb and sidewalk, which is not, like I said, eligible for the funds, but by covering some of the project with these funds, it allows the scope of the project to expand.
Thank you, ma'am.
And with that, this is just the total proposed uses. We can adjust any of those items or remove any that council would like to see removed, or add anything additional at this point.
Vice Mayor?
I love this, Katie. Thank you so much. I particularly love the facade program. Probably need to find maybe an outside partner to help us with that, administer that. I've talked a little bit to the school district about the mitigation of substance abuse, and they were hit really hard during COVID. So even helping with some after-school programs would be of benefit to them. And then broadband infrastructure, having this plan available, I assume, Mr. Davison, that this will help us attract vendors more readily, maybe even with fiber optics, hopefully. So that's awesome. And then now with this $2.3 million, is the Florentine project finally funded? And if so, when will it begin?
Yes, it would fund the Florentine project. We do have an amount in the budget this year as well for the portion that isn't eligible for grant funds. And then I believe, I don't know if Mr. Davis,
he's there.
I believe he said that he's ready to go out to bid at any time, so that process could start relatively quickly, and then we would move forward with that. We would probably have it timed to where it goes multi-year, where it starts this year and it goes into next fiscal year.
Well, we can't start it in the wintertime because it's flood control and water and all that, but yay, it's funded.
I just want to be clear that Florentine, as we've discussed for what I want to think is about the last 2 years, would be totally complete with this.
Funded.
Mr. Davis? Just a head nod would have been
Shake
fine.
your
That would have
head.
been fine. Okay. We'll be the judge of that.
Couch, what section is this? Can you explain?
I'll be brief, Mayor. Yes, it was in this year's budget for the funding, and we were using her funding. What's important to note is the current funding is only going to take care of the sidewalk, curb, and gutter on the north side. So the south side of the street, where the existing businesses are at, will not have curb, gutter, and sidewalk. So her funding just takes care of the pavement and the curb, gutter, and sidewalk on the north side for that 4,000 feet.
On the north side. So combined with this, would be able to complete the project for the most part, except for the south side part.
Except for the south side, curb, gutter, and
sidewalk, is what you're
sidewalk.
saying. Awesome. Thank you. That was a good comment, Norm. Thank you.
So a question then, that you said this goes from east of Navajo, is where, on Florentine is where this starts then?
Correct.
To how far then?
Is it Grizzly Bear Path? I believe that's the end.
Beginning of the industrial.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
And then also, Katie, did we have cameras in the budget also this past year?
Yes, we did. We
Okay.
had some money in the budget. It was around 10 grand.
Okay.
So after quotes were brought in, that was not enough to cover it.
Sure.
So what this will do is it would allow us to do the full project, which will probably be closer to around 25,000.
Gotcha.
And then any of the funds that are left over after not or after completing these projects wouldn't be used for other purposes unless the council so directs. Otherwise, they would go back into the ARPA pool of our funds, and you would be able to reallocate those at a later time.
Gotcha. Thank you. And because of the location of the park, it's not just security. It could have been park enhancement. It could have been anything, or is it specifically security?
Well, we were adding those for security purposes and to make it a safer environment. Because of the proximity to the qualified census tract, it
Sure.
would be eligible for other things as well.
Other enhancements as well. Thank you. Vice Mayor?
So maybe we, with some of the extra money, $3 million, we can do more things at Mountain Valley.
Potentially,
Because
yes.
it qualifies because of Section 9. So. And then can you tell me briefly, Katie, for those areas that aren't in the entertainment center for the business, the facade program, how easy is it for them to prove that they had a reduced? What will you require?
We're trying to make it as easy as possible
Okay.
for those businesses. We'll accept a wide variety of their documentation from their tax returns, like their business tax returns or their transaction privilege tax returns with the state, or whatever other method that they have available, as long as they can demonstrate to us that is, that they have received that reduction due to the pandemic.
Council, anything else for Katie?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to confirm use of $4,567,600 in budgeted fiscal recovery funds as proposed by staff by electronic vote.
I'll second.
Clerk, please call the vote.
Councilmember Dickinson? Thank you. That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Item 11J, Census Smart Point 520M radio transmitter purchase for consideration and possible action. Sir, welcome.
Good evening, Council. Good evening, Mayor and Vice Mayor. Scott with Utilities, Scott Keith with Utilities Department. The Utilities budget for this fiscal year includes $150,000 to fund the purchase of the Census SmartPoint metering radios. And the total cost for these meter transmitters will be $149,977. The Utilities Department is requesting approval to purchase these transmitters, and these devices are used to transmit meter usage data through the Census Flex network to our billing system. At this time, approximately 15,500 of our current customers already are on this Census Flex network and will have access to the upcoming WaterSmart customer portal. This purchase will allow the town to install radio transmitters at 1,148 of those remaining 7,000 water meters, and will enable those customers to access their hourly usage through that WaterSmart portal as well. Really quick here, I just thought instead of doing a PowerPoint, just do a little show and tell. These transmitters come in single port and dual port, and basically these connect to the meter, and they're a radio on a licensed frequency, and they'll send the meter data over to our billing system, and then ultimately it'll go into the customer portal for our customers to be able to access that data. And we've got a single port and dual port, so you can hook them up to single meter sets, and then you can do dual meter sets as well for those lots that have 2 meters right on the lot line. Also, one thing I wanted to mention is that we have in our current contract with Jacobs that you all approved this past June, the installation for these, so that we can get these installed. And that's about all I've got in my presentation here. Any questions?
I had a quick question. So you're saying that the homeowner can access their data. Are they also able to shut off their water meter?
No, we don't have that capability.
They're not, okay.
With this system.
I just thought, boy, that'd be great when you go on vacation. You could just click and you're done. Okay.
Right.
All right, thank you.
Vice Mayor?
I have a question.
Oh, Councilwoman?
I'm sorry. Were you going to speak first? Okay. Will this unit be installed with on top of the meter that is in the ground, or is a new base established to put this on?
So of the 7,000, so we've got 7,000 that are currently not on that network. Those meters are compatible with this system, so we don't have to change the meters out. We only have to change out the radio, because the current system is a drive-by system where a person has to put a laptop in a truck and drive through the neighborhood to read the meter, where this will go through the network and our towers and send the signal right into the billing system.
Thank you.
I have a quick question. So these things are going to save us water. They're going to help us conserve water.
Certainly, they are. It's a tool that we can use that our customers can use, and we can use to more closely monitor the water usage. They also, once the WaterSmart customer portal is up and running, they will have a leak detection feature, so that if a customer goes out of town, they can set that feature up to send them an email or a text and let them know that they've had water usage when they're on vacation, and it's kind of an unexpected thing, and then they can call in and say, hey, I've got water usage, could you turn my water off?
And then new house, so this, between the recovery money and this money, all of the town within a couple years will have updated.
Correct, yeah. I think the initial plan was a 2 to 3 year plan to get these purchased and installed.
So somebody that pulls a building permit tomorrow, we make them put that in?
Yes, the current stock are the new MXUs that are compatible with our newer system.
Right, and I just want the residents to know, and correct me if I'm wrong, Katie, but we are the only town in our area that has something like this, a program like this, on water conservation and our meters transforming with the transmitters. So, kudos to us.
Anything else?
Question, when you're saying that these are installed on the meter, so when you're looking inside the green box underneath the ground, is that where that particular unit will be stationed then?
Correct, yes. This will go right through the meter lid and will be right underneath the lid. So if you were to pull the lid up, you would see this device.
Okay, so then the next question is, how soon will the citizens be able to have access to the ones that are already set up to do it with the smart meter? How soon? I forget. I'm just asking the question. How soon is that supposed to happen, go live?
Right. The WaterSmart customer portal, we're looking at it going live about the end of this calendar year.
Good. Okay. Thank you.
Would you like to entertain a motion?
Absolutely.
All right. So, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the purchase of the Census radio transceivers from Dana Kepner for a total cost of make sure I say it right, $149,976.89 by electronic vote.
I second.
Clerk, please call the vote.
That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you. Moving on to item 12, comments from the public. Consideration and discussion of general unscheduled comments from the public. Those wishing to address the council need not request permission in advance. Any such remarks shall be addressed to the council as a whole and not to any member thereof. Such remarks shall be limited to 3 minutes unless additional time is granted by the mayor. At the conclusion of the unscheduled comments, individual members of the council may respond to the item addressed at the discretion of the mayor, or they may ask that the town manager review the matter to ask that the matter be placed on a future agenda. At this time, folks, if anyone would like to come by, I believe, clerk, you may have someone?
Nope, I don't have any comment cards today.
No comment cards? Anyone that just thought about saying something and forgot to do a comment card? If not, then at that time, we'll move on to...
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Clerk, please call the vote.
That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. We are done for the evening for this. But if you would like to come back for the CFD board, you are more than welcome to. So have a great night, everyone. Drive safe.